Ah, beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, this is the third time we've met, and I know you said not to mention it, but why do...
Shh. No words. Just do that thing.
What thing?
That thing that turns me on.
Okay. Alright, come on. I really like you, but seriously, why do we keep meeting at night? I've never even seen your face.
Hey! It's what's on the inside that counts.
Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And this is the new M4.
From any angle and in any light, the new M4 is absolutely
Thomas, let's not go there just yet, okay? The new M4 doesn't just have a new face. The entire car has been redesigned. It's been widened, stiffened, sharpened. It has a new, more powerful engine. And before we address the rather controversial styling, we're going to see just how much of an M car this really is.
If you're new to Throttle House, we do car reviews, track tests, and quite a lot of messing around. So subscribe and hit the bell.
Okay, I've got everything in efficient and comfort. The dampers are soft as they can be. Steering becomes soft. I'm comfortable, and because this is a competition model, it's an automatic. And the automatic this year is a ZF 8-speed, a smooth ZF 8-speed. Gone is the DCT. That might be a double-edged sword because the DCT was really fun. It slammed on upshifts, except on the other side of it, it was really finicky at low speeds, and in fact it was like jerky and it could buck you. This does not have that problem. And this is where the M3 and M4 win, because comfortable, livability, and yet when you want to push them and you want to use that performance, they allow you to have your cake and eat it too. Thomas is giving me a cake. Oh, cough. This is a fake cake. He gave me a fake cake. I'm tired of these food pranks.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, I love food metaphors, especially when they're real and not bought on Amazon. And that represents this car. It is livable. James is right. If I was going to complain about one thing, it would be that they still have used a solidly mounted rear subframe to the underbody, which is great for performance. But out here, in the previous gen anyway, it translated a lot of vibrations to the car. They have improved it, and they told me specifically that they actually isolated the differential more from the subframe to try and dampen some of it. It hasn't really worked that well, because it's still kind of translating a lot of stuff through. That said, it is a totally livable car. It's got all the safety systems, all the technology you could ever want. Seats are comfortable, even these ones. Great visibility. It's a car that you can use every day.
But that's only half the story, isn't it? Yeah, it can drive on the road, and as we've tested over the last few days, it is livable. But this is the M4, which means it gets this absolutely massive air intake on the side for extra cooling. It's also 15% stiffer than last generation. Even the underbody is aerodynamically optimized for cooling and downforce. In every single way, this is more performance focused than the normal 4 Series. So we thought it deserves to see a racetrack. Where are you going to find one of those? Yes! Okay, S58, the engine. This is a serious unit, still a twin-turboed inline 6 like the last gen, but they've reworked it and it is powerful. It pulls. You know why it pulls? Because this is the competition and it gets 503 horsepower. That sounds like a familiar number to me. Oh yeah, because the C63S has it. And because it's a competition, it has an entirely different engine to the normal M4. No, it's the same engine. It's just got 6 more PSI of boost. So theoretically, you could just tune your manual M4 and you have a manual M4 comp.
But no matter what trim you get, this engine, which I have to say is not nearly as good looking as the previous generation, it's missing that big, beautiful carbon fiber reinforced strut brace. Anyway, no matter what trim you get, this engine has more horsepower than torque. That means they prioritized high revving power over low down torque.
Which is good, because high revving peaky engines are fun. She sings, she dances, that's the M bit. Floats like a Miata, stings like an AMG. Now about that 6-cylinder BMW noise you're hearing, it sounds very BMW. In fact, it doesn't sound dissimilar to the B58 in the Supra or the M340i, except it's just more of it. It feels like they've invited more musicians to play the same note. Now about that transmission, I was worried that it wouldn't be as fun as a DCT, and it's not. It's not as crazy. Shifts are smooth, they're quick, but there isn't much theatre to them. So as for transmission, it's where it's slightly missing something. I'm slightly missing some MDNA. The gears just switch. There's no slam on the upshift. It's optimized for smooth driving, which is not going to be to everyone's taste. But the car does feel optimized for the track. It even has a lap timer and ridiculously powerful brakes, which, by the way, in the menus, you can change the feel of. And I thought that would be cool, but that really only works if the sport version of it is like overly aggressive, but I don't think it is. I think the comfort version of it is too soft, so I've just been driving it in sport the whole time. That seemed like a bit of a pointless feature.
After James gave the M4 a good go, I hopped in to see how it holds up to some lap time style driving.
Yep. Oh my God. It's a real track car. It is a real track car. I've even got it in track mode, which turns the screens off and makes the car very serious. And what that does, oh man, and what that does is it turns off all the extra safety systems that might give you a hard time if you're actually doing a track day. Mad respect for that. And you know what? From a completely analytical, objective perspective about how this drives as a fast sports car, it's really, really frickin' good. Steering, very sharp. Really good front end grip. Not as much feedback as I would like, but you know what? It's as good as the M2 is. Way better than the M5. The car is planted even in the stiffest setting. We have a bumpy track and it's been known to unsettle a lot of cars. Like right through here, the car stays very well planted. Breakaway is incredibly progressive and it's basically perfectly well balanced. But it wouldn't be an M car if you couldn't have a little bit of fun with it. Yes! Ah, it's an M car. I was just doing that fully in track mode, but this year we actually have this new BMW MDM multiple stage traction control thing. It's like 10 levels of traction control that can help you learn to drift. I'm just gonna turn everything off because honestly, this car is really, really predictable. I don't have a problem with any aspect of its on or past the limit character. The next thing that I need to talk about is the fact that there's a drift analyzer. That means that you turn this system on and it judges you on how well you're doing drifting, which at first I thought was a really serious gimmick. Honestly, for me, an M car should be very simple. It should be just capable of doing drifts because it's just fundamentally well engineered. However, I've come to love this because it's not a gimmick. They put a lot of thought into it. In fact, I think it was the only time in the press briefing that we actually saw the engineers start to giggle. Have you ever watched Germans giggle? It's very unsettling. The point is that they were laughing because this is actually really fun and challenging, and it really eggs you to kill a full set of tires. Because it measures everything from how smooth your steering input is, how smooth your throttle input is, how well you enter the drift, how well you exit the drift, how long the drift is, and it even takes into consideration whether or not you are on a really slippery surface or a high traction surface. All of those things are taken into account and they give you a score. Okay, I'm going for the big one. Going for the big one. All right? Go in, third gear. Come on, come on! And exit 112 meters! 19.3 degrees of sideways, 4 stars. That's still 4 stars, it's still not. I was pretty proud of that one.
Thomas! Shame dich. You must do better than this, or I'm putting you into a 2 Series Grand Coupe. How are you liking them apples? Delicious, no?
Sometimes it can be really mean. Honestly though, I'm so happy. I'm a happy BMW fan because this is actually an M car in the best, purest form. It's fun to drive. It's fun to drive on the road. It's fun to drive on the track. It does huge skids. It's got some playful toys in here. The seats are brilliant. It's really, really great to drive. It's way more fun than the RS5 to drive. It's more sharp and more M than the C63. It fills that niche perfectly. And here's the most important part. This car feels much, much more like a slightly bigger M2 than it does a slightly smaller M5. And if you know me and my opinions on those two cars, that's probably the highest compliment I can pay it.
I agree with Thomas. This car has been a win all around. I thought that it would have one characteristic. I thought it would be tainted. It would have a deal breaker of some kind. I don't think it does. Anyway, unrelated. Let's go talk about how it looks. Oh,
You made it.
getting out of that seat. I made it.
Yes. Wow.
Suddenly City.
What production value.
Wow, best city in the world, subjectively.
Well, very obviously in Canada now.
That's agreement from the geese.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Can I just say, before we talk about the design,
Yeah.
I'm so happy this fits the M mold.
From the inside.
Right?
Yeah, no, it absolutely does.
You get all of the three flavors. The RS5 is that rocket cruiser.
It's way more comfortable.
Yeah, this ride. This is way closer to the C63S, which is the V8 Brute
Yeah,
for now.
for now.
And I'm so relieved. I'm so relieved.
Okay, well, actually, before we talk about anything, we came here because there is a Toronto red
Yep.
M4, and then they gave us a green one.
This is actually Sao Paulo yellow.
It's not
Yeah.
yellow.
I don't know
What do you
why
mean
it's
Sao
Sao
Paulo.
Paulo yellow.
Why Sao Paulo?
Yeah, the Great Tarasca in Sao Paulo, apparently.
So we've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also Brooklyn Grey
Yep.
and
Yep.
Isle of Man
Yes.
green.
Yes.
There's some fun colour. This is a funky colour. It's loud.
That's the word. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
it's loud.
Yeah. Also, barf. Anyway, so
Yeah.
can we talk about the actual styling of this car, because we do have to have a conversation
Yes.
about
Well,
it.
for the voice of the car, despite what you may have heard,
Yes.
is not actually local talented Canadian YouTuber Julie Nolke.
Thanks for that.
Go
Julie.
check her out.
Yep.
There is no voice of this car, just that sound of an inline-six.
Okay. So
The
all right.
face of it, though.
Should I start?
Yeah, go on then.
Breathe in, and here we go.
With the disclaimer
Yeah.
that this is just our opinion.
Just our opinion, and you can say whatever you want.
Doesn't matter. We've never mattered.
Here we go.
Yep, go on.
Grill is too big, but it's not any bigger than a Lexus or an Audi grill.
No, that's true.
It is what's surrounding it, the placement of it and the proportions. This is too bulbous and weird looking. I don't like these things that accent the front of it.
No.
Otherwise, the front of the shape of the, actually, I really like these carbon fiber intakes. This whole bottom section looks great.
Oh, the competition style. I mean, these competition wheels are stunning.
Very good,
We've got these,
yeah.
the M carbon fiber wing mirrors.
Kinda have the hook.
Carbon fiber roof. There's
Yeah.
some great stuff going on.
Speaking of, as we move down to the back,
Yeah.
okay, so here's the issue that I have. This
Yeah.
is the biggest issue. It's actually not the front, despite what people think. It's this line that runs down the side that goes, woohoo!
Yeah.
It just kind of dies. And then you get this like weird shape
In
here.
the wrong light, it can look sweaty. It ends up looking, the side looks sweaty. You know what I mean?
That is exactly the right.
Yeah.
And, well, we've also lost the Hofmeister kink, and they've somehow designed this with the way that this overhangs a little bit too much, so that the rear wheel looks smaller than the front wheel. I don't know how they did
That's
that.
not to say that BMW can't make a great looking car. The M5,
M5 is fantastic,
The
yeah.
M2 is great.
Yes.
They've just gone 8 Series vibe with this.
Well, even the 8 Series looks good. I don't mind the side. Like, everyone says it looks like a Mustang, so does this kind of. But like, the rear at least
Yeah.
is really nice.
Yeah.
From right here.
Aggressive diffuser, the quad exhausts that are
Yeah.
real.
I think it looks
You
good.
know what doesn't have real quad exhaust? C63S.
Boom.
Yeah.
What's up? Okay, so that's honestly my biggest issue with the car is that section right there.
But again, that's just our opinion.
It's just our
right?
opinion, yes.
Your opinion is actually really important to
It
us. So we asked you.
On Instagram.
We asked you on Instagram.
Yep.
This is why you follow us on Instagram, because your voice matters. And we asked you with one word to describe the new M3, M4.
Gave us a lot of words, over 1,000 of them.
Yeah, some of them very mean.
Here's a screenshot of some of the answers that we can't actually show in the video.
I think the highest voted one was someone who cheated and used
Oh,
the,
yeah.
and they didn't use any spaces, so
No.
therefore still one word that said, "I'd rather have a Prius."
That's not one
Yeah.
word, but it was the most upvoted comment.
Yeah. But last year, thanks to COVID, the most popular word of the year phrase was unprecedented.
Yeah,
This is unprecedented.
It's definitely that.
Thanks to this,
Yeah.
the most popular phrase of 2021 is "it's growing on me."
Where?
No, did that on the car.
Oh.
A lot of people seem to really start to like this. I have to be honest, I'm starting to edge to that camp.
Yeah.
Not like oh, that's sick, it's growing me.
You're getting used to
I'm
it.
in the I associate it with the experience of this car.
Well, in the same way that you get a wart on your hand, and eventually you would just
You
get
just tell
used
people it's
to
a
it.
beauty spot.
Yeah, exactly. So the designer for the 4 Series, which has to be said, looks worse than this.
Yes.
I just read this morning, actually, and I'm paraphrasing right now. He said that he didn't want people to judge it in lust after it, based on its looks on the outside. It's what's inside that counts. And
Okay.
Well, let's go see, I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's good in here.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good in here. Yeah. I think that this is probably the best execution of all of the new BMW stuff that I've seen. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
all the like the steering wheel and the infotainment and all these buttons and carbon fiber and whatever.
The showpiece are the seats.
Oh, no question. Like visually, the showpiece as well.
Visually.
They look
Well,
awesome.
they're in a ridiculous color scheme that matches the outside actually right now.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the color scheme in a second. But like in terms of these seats, I think this is probably the best execution of a track day bucket, everyday usable seat that I find these more comfortable than the GT4 seats.
Okay. All right.
Right, and they actually have slots here, so you could do a 3-point harness if you wanted to put a roll bar in the back.
There's adjustable bolsters.
I didn't know that until today.
Electrically adjustable forward, back, tilt.
They go down, they go nice and low. You can get in a really good driving position.
I love all the way to the M striped pulley. I love everything about these seats.
And they're actually very intuitive. You pull it and it goes forward and it slides in. You can get in the back. In the back seats, speaking of them, I find that they're actually a little bit smaller than I was hoping. The M2 rear seats are more roomy, even though this is a bigger car technically. But then I guess you get the M3. So.
Yeah, I'm squashed for headroom in these. From the back seats, you get the best view of
the
these seats.
Oh, they're so awesome. They
look
just
like
are.
it's like the inside of like a cool tomahawk, like throwing.
Yeah, no, they're really, really neat. And there's a hole so that you can tickle the person in front of you. The rest of it, the blue, I actually really like the blue, but the blue with the yellow stitching.
I don't mind it.
Is a bit much.
No, it's fun.
It is fun. Okay, it's fine. I'll give them to it.
There's a lot of carbon fiber.
Yeah.
And the difference between this and the normal M440i is there's carbon fiber on the steering wheel.
Yep.
And I've never been a huge fan of it like this because this still looks to me like an aftermarket vibe thing.
It looks like someone wrapped the bits of the steering wheel in carbon fiber.
Yes.
It's real, but like it is, you're right, it's a bit much. And since this is the competition with the carbon fiber package, you get these big, awesome paddles.
Yes.
Right? Which I really, really like.
I wish there was a bit more throw to them though.
Well, it's because you were just in a Ferrari. So it's a first world
I
problem.
didn't want to
That's
bring
a
it
first
up.
world
I didn't
problem.
want to bring it up.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously you've had some fun with the drift analyzer.
The
and
drift
all this stuff.
analyzer, I have learned to love it.
Yeah.
It's fun. I honestly, like you and I had an argument about this because I was mad about the drift analyzer.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was a gimmick. I was like, it's stupid. An M car should just do drifts because it can do drifts because it's well engineered. And then I started using it and I was like, James, I'm going to do another drift because I want to know what my next score is.
Because it's just in the name of fun.
It's just in the name of fun.
And that's what I love about this car.
Yep. So speaking of fun, something that isn't fun is trying to comprehend the infotainment system.
It's still not perfect.
It doesn't make any sense. Like this is still the least intuitive thing. I know you can learn it, and I get that, but at the same time, it's not intuitive.
Well, there's also things that like I don't know. There's settings. They've got so many settings on this car.
So many.
Like you can put this in the slowest shifting setting, and comfort brakes,
Yes.
and make the car objectively crap.
Yeah, I know.
It shifts slowly. It brakes
Yeah.
long.
We didn't need that.
Why would you want that?
We don't need that setting. And there's a million different ways to set it up. If you go to the setup menu, you can change the engine, efficient, sport plus, chassis, steering. There's the brake that you were just talking about. And this was confusing to us at first, but
Yes.
we understand it now.
Well, because we've lost. You used to be able to press sport
Yes.
and road. Now it's gone to one button. This happened. We had this with the M5 LCI as well.
Yeah.
It's just M mode.
The M mode doesn't actually change anything about the way the steering or the suspension set up. All it does is it just changes how much driver assistance systems are active. And if you hold it down, you turn on track mode that I talked about earlier, and that shuts off all of the safety systems and turns the screen black. But these M buttons on the steering wheel, you double click these and you've assigned those to something earlier. So that M2 is for Sport Plus everything, and it prompts you to start the M Drift Analyzer, which is really cool.
Yeah.
There it is.
You only got 4 stars though, didn't you? You didn't actually.
Listen, I don't
'Cause
want
you
to
can
talk
also-
about it.
You can
okay?
also
I
get
didn't-
4.5 stars and 5, and you
I
didn't
can't
even.
confirm that you can get 4.5 stars because I didn't hit it.
But we did get 3.5, so
You-
one could.
One could assume.
Yes.
Yes, I know there's probably more stars to be get with
But
the.
you know what? 24 degrees.
24 degrees, 100,
Yeah.
100 meter slide. That's not my longest
That's
slide.
that's room temperature.
It's not my longest slide, but it's apparently my best slide,
But
according
but
to M.
there's no evidence of the longest slide because it didn't actually save a history.
No, so you could start a drift session if you really wanted, but I mean, I didn't do that because I didn't know you could. I was just started drifting and it gave me my last drift and best drift, which is really cool. So we talked about how I didn't make 5s. At least I'm going to bump my ego up by saying I never used the M traction control system. What's up?
Neither did I.
That's true.
I got a healthy 3-star.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, Anything else you want to say about this interior? Because I really like it.
I really like it.
I really think it's cool.
like it. So hold on, let me just get this straight. This is a new M4.
Yep.
It has an inline-six, twin turbo. You love the power delivery. You love the way it drives.
Yep.
You love the interior. You love M cars.
Yep.
Would you get it?
There's one left. No, I can't.
You can't warm to the design.
I can't. So far, I have not warmed to the design, and it would honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think it would stop me from owning the car because I just don't like the look of it enough. When you're spending this much money on a car, personally, I think it has to. When you see it, you should get excited.
So just looking at the
I
Germans.
would buy an M2 currently still.
Okay, but if you're someone else, if you're someone that likes the design,
yes,
and there's an opportunity to get a 470 something horsepower manual M3 M4,
buy it now.
This is a huge win.
Buy it now.
Okay,
100%.
And then soon, when the C63S gets the 4-cylinder, this will be
the only choice, especially if they facelift it.
So, while the C63 and the RS5, and the Giulia Quadrifoglio for that matter, are stuck in their own singular drivetrain and transmission configurations, the M3 and M4 are some of the last bastions of choice. Manual or automatic, rear-wheel drive or the soon-to-arrive X-Drive, the new generation has range. And a giant grille. But the thing that matters most is that it drives like an M car. Which is good, because for just over $100,000 Canadian as tested, or just under $90,000 US, it should. Thanks for watching.
All right, Thomas has been going on about this drift angle. He's so proud of his 4 stars. You ready? Here's a 5-star. That was a 1-star.
Did I hear the other day that you said AMG was an 8? And you called me a 6?
What? You are a 6.
How dare you? When you picked me up from the dealership, did I hear you say something about your ex?
My ex?
Yeah.
No. My ex. Oh, IX, the new IX.
Who is she?
Listen, it's not you, it's me. Okay, maybe it's you. I just need someone with a bit more X drive.
I knew it!